Welcome to Season 2 of Gym Mint 10 Sports. I am Lucky, joined by Scotty. Ekman has called in sick for Episode 1, Season 2. He's not feeling the best, so me and Scotty will just ride it out here. So,
yeah,
Scotty,
Josh
it's been
trying
a
to
long
be
month.
he's trying to be Poke version 2.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Poke, on the podcast.
Yeah.
So he definitely called in sick. Not a good way to start off his, Season 2 with us, but it's all good. So, Scotty, it's been a long month.
Dude, it's been a really long month. I'm tired. Got promoted at work. Working this last paycheck, I had 105 hours. So I've been working a lot, but I still got time to rip. So,
oh yeah, for sure. Congrats on your first. Yeah, congrats on your first card show, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. I know we were going to talk quite a bit about that, so we just dive into that. But yeah, it was good. It was jam packed. I know you were pretty impressed with the pictures I sent you with it. That picture I sent you. So one of the ones I said that this is how it was all day. That picture my nephew took from the front door of the conference room where it was held out.
Oh, really?
That's how it was. So the show was from 10 to 4, and then they had a trading time from 4 to 6 where people, if they didn't want to buy, they were just looking to trade. People will come in. Hello, April. Your wife says hi, by the way.
Hi. Welcome to Season 2.
Yeah. So anyways, so from 10 to 4, it was just buying. You could trade if you wanted to, which a lot of people wanted to do trading, but I was just trying to sell. I think me and my brother made 2 trades, and they were just for like lower end stuff. It was nothing crazy. But it's weird because when people would want to trade, they always want to give you like junk for like your best cards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at first I was like, okay, well, let me see what you have for trade. Maybe it's something I want. And like I would tell people, I don't want football though. I don't really collect football. I'm trying to get out of football. I just want to do just baseball. And what would always be the first thing they would hand me?
Football.
Yeah. So
and they all were there's a lot of kids doing it, wasn't there?
Yes and no. Believe it or not, a lot of these kids had cash, which I was surprised because I figured they would show up wanting to trade instead of spend money. At first, they would be like, "Hey, are you trading right now?" And I would tell them, "No, I'm not really looking to trade." And then they would look around and see if I had anything worth buying. Like I said, like I had told you, there was a couple of kids that came up. One kid dropped $100 like within like 30 seconds at my table. He didn't buy like nothing crazy, but he bought like a lot of small things. So,
oh yeah.
There's Josh. Yeah, it's all right, Josh. Don't worry about it. You get a free pass this time. Yeah. No, it's weird. You could be on here to text, but you can't be on here to talk, huh?
I know, right? But yeah, no, when I was doing the card show, there's a lot of kids come up with like their briefcase, and they come up like, "You trade?" And I'm like, "No, not really, but like you said, let me see what you got. It might be something I want." And I mean, then they want too much for what they have, and I'm like, I don't want your Zach Wilson NFL Pro Set card. I'm sorry. But
yeah, and it's going to be like that. I mean, anytime someone trades, like both sides want to feel like they came up on the trade. You know what I mean? And that can sometimes be hard to do unless like they have someone that you like PC and you really want, and you're not afraid to maybe give up a little bit more than what you normally would just because that's a card that you want. Then yeah, typically it can happen like that. But the crazy thing is sometimes when like you go to sell a card to someone, they want to buy it for 70, like 30% off, 25% off, because they're going to resell it. But then when you ask them about cards that they have on display, if they can give you a discount on that, and they're like, oh no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so we had primarily baseball, and I wasn't sure how it was going to do because we're about 6 weeks early on baseball. Everyone's still real high on football, but we sold a lot of baseball. I was really happy. Like our display case. Okay, so at first, our display case was about 50-50, and then I'd say by like 12, like more than 50% of it had sold out. We were taking other cards off of like some of our higher end cards that we just didn't have room to put in there. We were having to refill the case multiple times.
Yeah.
So it was successful, but then we stopped. We ran out of one touches, our slabbed up cards worth being in there. So like we were just putting in cards that were just in one touches, but like were good cards, and we were just trying to keep it full. And then like later on, I told my brother, "Man, I'm not even trying to fill this thing anymore. It's just people are just going crazy." But there was one guy that came and he wanted to see a bunch of cards, and he had like this. He wanted to see if it was going to grade a 10, and he would grab the card, and he would have like this little light that he would shine, and he was basically telling me what was going to grade for a 10 or a 9. So I already put aside what I'm going to send off.
Just whips out his magnifying glass.
Yeah, it's this little like I don't
or
know
like
how to
Inspector
explain it.
Gadget. He has like the magnifying glass coming off the head.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, he was doing that. So I had him actually check a couple cards that he wasn't interested in, cards that I was thinking about sending in. And there's a couple he said he didn't see any flaws in them that they would be worth sending in. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm definitely going to be sending those in. So now I should have asked him what he was using so I can use that when I send in cards. That way I can get my 10s. I'm not trying to send anything in a 9. Like the difference between it's weird, the difference between a 10 and a 9 for PSA. There's a gentleman, he was selling it was a Ronald Acuna first Bowman, right? First Bowman Chrome. And I think he had it for like $100. And then I went to look, I was just curious because he had a 10 and a 9, right? Guess how much the latest 9 sold for?
How much?
Okay, so the 10 sold for 96. That was the last one that was sold for 96. So guess how much the 9 sold for?
30.
Lower
Than 30.
I couldn't believe it. It sold for $18.
Oh, come on. A 9
I'm
compared
not,
to it. That can't be that big of a difference.
it's not, and that's the crazy thing about why I am nervous about slabbing up a whole bunch of stuff that I want to sell, because if it doesn't come back at 10, you're basically going to sell it for like what you graded it for. Well, depending on the card, I should say, but a card like that, regardless, the raw probably goes for more than that. I should have looked at how much the raw was going for, but I bet you the raw goes for more than $18.
Yeah. Well, the raw goes for more because people are hoping it'll get a 10.
Yeah,
so
that's
they're willing
true.
to pay $25-$30 to make a $90 sale on it, So that's probably, I mean, sitting with my Curry, I sold it for $1,000, right? The rookie, and that sold for more raw. If I would have got like a 8 or a 9, it's like $700 or $800. But people are chasing the 10s. That's why the raw goes for a little bit more, I think. So
yeah, and then as far as like players that people were looking for like baseball, okay, so I had the first things that sold out of my case was almost all my Bobby Witt autos. We had 4 of them, and 3 of them sold within the first hour.
Oh yeah,
that was like as far as baseball goes. Witt Jr. is what everybody. No one was even asking really for Julio Rodriguez, which was surprising because we had some really nice Bowman stuff in there, and people were they were on top of the Witt like real quick. My brother had he had one out of 15, numbered out of 15 auto in there. A lot of people looked at it, but people were trying to lowball him. My brother's like, no, you're not. It was pretty much priced to sell as it was. So the fact that people wanted it even lower, my brother had it under comp. He had it like, I think it was like $15 under comp. So the fact that people were still trying to get more of a discount, I'm glad my brother held firm on that, because I think he's going to be fine. I know he didn't do that great last year, and people were kind of like iffy on him, but he's got the tools to be successful. So I told my brother, I'm like, dude, don't drop it anymore. People don't want to buy it for that. If anything, maybe you can just even send it off the PSA and just PC it if people aren't going to buy it for what you're looking for. Another guy, Adley Rutschman. That's another guy people are looking for. I had a pair of O'Neill Cruises, and there was a vendor guy there actually that wanted them. And he goes, let me sell a couple things and I'll be back. He comes back in an hour, and I gave him a deal on both of them. I'm pretty sure he was going to turn around and sell them, but I'm actually personally not high on O'Neill Cruz. And those were 2 cards I told my brother, if someone makes me an offer that I like, even if it's lower than what I'm asking for, I'm going to sell them, because yeah, he's pretty decent, but I don't think his card value is gonna hold up. So I didn't mind selling them now before if he ends up not doing that great. He doesn't. I end up not losing too much money on that. And then let's see
Yeah,
who else.
he's one that a lot of people do collect though. O'Neal Cruz. Um, I thought he'd be pretty good. I mean, Bobby Witt didn't even have like the best, rookie year that you've ever seen, but a lot of people still want him. And I mean, the potential is there. He's probably going to get better and better. But yeah, I'm collecting some Bobby Witt too. I got a first Bowman of his that I'm going to hang on to for a while. So
Yeah, we had a couple of Bowman numbered cards in the case as well, but that didn't sell. But surprisingly, a lot of my Bowman did sell, just not the stuff I had in the display case. A lot of people are looking for kind of like first Bowman of guys that have potential to eventually be big. They're kind of like maybe like around like the 10, 11 prospect on their team, that have potential to eventually move up and then become a pro in like 2, 3, maybe even 4 years down the road, depending on their age. Those were the Bowmans that I was selling pretty quick. One guy though, I don't know if I told you right about the guy that bought like almost all my dollar cards.
yeah,
I tell you about that story. So yeah, so for the listeners, this guy came pretty early, probably like 30 minutes into the show. He was talking to me a little bit. He's an old timer, and he just is getting back into collecting. He took a little bit of time off, money issues, and now that he's back to being financially stable, he said he's making like a pretty big push back into it. And so he went ahead and first he bought a bunch of autos that he came in. I don't know. I think he bought some like lower end autos. It wasn't nothing crazy. I think the most expensive one he bought was like a $30 auto, and the rest of them like $10 to $15 autos. And then he comes back. He says I'll be back later on. So then he takes off and he comes back maybe like 2 hours later, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna be here for a while. He's like, I'm gonna actually go through all your baseball. So he was there for a while. He had a big old stack of baseball. It wasn't none of the dollar stuff. It was like the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that type of stuff. And then he goes to my dollar box and he goes, hey, just curious, how much would you be willing to let this whole box go? And so I kind of counted it up. It was around about 650 cards left still in there. I told him, okay, I said, I'll sell them to you about 40 cents a piece. And he goes, all right, well, let me think on it. So we ended up coming to a $350 deal on that, and I let him take them. I mean, I still got a bunch more, but I was pretty happy about that deal. And he said he does YouTube, and he's going to go ahead and sell them on YouTube. He's like, so I wrote the gentleman's name down, but I forgot to bring it with me to give him a shout out. But it's AJ something. But I'll get him on the next show. But yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I told him I'm gonna go into his live. Maybe I'll buy my cards back.
Yeah. Buy your stuff back.
Yeah, and then with football, is weird. Everyone was just really wanting to buy just dollar cards. One guy came in the morning. He bought our higher end football stuff like immediately. That stuff was like our first sell. Was a guy came and he dropped a couple $100 on some football, and then after that, people were really interested like in the dollar box. I almost sold out on my dollar box. Like it was almost depleted by the end of the show. And then the two players everyone was looking for though, surprisingly, was still just Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. The only quarterbacks. No one's asking for Brady. No one asking for Hurts. No one asking for Mahomes. No, nothing. Like they all just wanted this. It's just all the same guys. It was weird.
That's weird. Yeah, especially Josh Allen lost last week, so you'd think people are chasing the quarterback still in the playoffs right now. Going to the Super Bowl. I mean, Josh Allen, you can find him anytime now. Right now the other quarterbacks are getting like Burrow. I'd be high on getting Burrow if I'm at a card show. So
yeah, but I think the other thing too, the reason a lot of people were looking for him because he is from my area. So I think a lot of people is just because they root for him and they want to collect him just because he is from this area. I think that's really what it is.
Well, speaking of quarterbacks to look for, I don't think anyone's going to be looking for Brock Purdy anytime soon. What do you think about your Niners today?
Well, I mean, what can you do? I mean, you lose your quarterback. You know, I was disappointed that Shanahan didn't challenge that fourth down throw. I mean, that alone could have changed the sequence of the game. But once Brock Purdy went down, it was second series, he tried to come back and he couldn't get going. So I mean, after that, Josh Johnson gets a concussion. We come out of half, can't even do anything but run the ball. I mean, it was just.
Didn't McCaffrey play a couple of downs where he was a quarterback?
He attempted to throw even, scrambling around. He just threw it away. I mean, it was just. There's a few things that could have gone differently. Even when Josh Johnson fumbled the ball under 2 minutes on our side of the field, you know, Philly scores a quick touchdown. There's a few things that could have. Going into halftime, that game could have been a little different, but you know what? It is what it is. You can play the what if game all day long, but what ifs don't matter. The fact is, the Philadelphia is moving on to Super Bowl. Congratulations to them, and unfortunately, the Niners are probably going to lose their defensive coordinator again. So I don't know what's gonna happen like that. But with Brock Purdy, I would not have been buying him anyways, regardless, because unless they won the Super Bowl, his card value wasn't going to stay where it was. And people were actually walking around at the card show asking if I had any Brock Purdy because they wanted to buy Brock Purdy. And then another guy came to my table looking to sell Brock Purdy. And he had a rookie card, and I can't remember what else. It was something else. He came back to my table later on. He did, in fact, end up trading that. He ended up getting a Mike Trout card, and gosh, I can't remember who else. But then he went and he made another trade. He ended up coming up. By the time it was all done, he made like 3 or 4 trades based off of what he sold or what he traded at Brock Purdy for. He ended up getting, I think it was like it ended up coming up to like a $400. I think it was a Josh Allen card. I wish I could remember exactly what it is. Yeah, he was telling me the story, but I had like other people like asking me questions about cards, so I couldn't 100% pay attention to all the details of the story. But yeah, he ended up. I told him he made a good trade. I wouldn't have been keeping Brock Purdy. There's a guy there who had an auto for like $1,300. I'm like, dude, just get rid of that card because if they lose tomorrow, that's going to be about a $200 card.
Yeah. Which now it probably is.
Hey, speaking about Brock Purdy, did you know how Panini's doing that that thing with redemptions? They're sending people those cards in place of redemptions.
Oh yeah.
Did you see the thing about the Brock Purdy card though?
No.
The rookie Brock Purdy card. He's missing his right leg from the knee down.
That does not surprise me about Panini at all.
It doesn't, but the fact that you would that's almost like first they don't send you the redemption, so that's kind of like a FU. And now they're definitely giving you an FU when they send you a card without a player without a leg. Like I don't know. The only thing I can think of is that there's going to be kind of like a limited card, and if Brock Purdy does go on to have like a good career, that air card might end up actually being worth some money because there's not going to be a lot of them out there. It's only going to be what they send out in places of redemptions. So it's going to be limited. You can't go out and buy a box and pull that card.
So that's a good segue. So now, we talked about Brock Purdy and his missing leg card. So Panini, I don't know if you saw the story. Someone pulled the 1-of-1 Babe Ruth booklet, and it was his autograph, right? And when you pull it, you're super excited. It's a Babe Ruth autograph. However, it was not a Babe Ruth autograph. They put a George Brett autograph in the booklet. So it's a 1-of-1, but you have George Brett's autograph. You don't have Babe Ruth. The plot twist, someone pulled a Ty Cobb 1-of-1 from the National Treasure, same set. 1-of-1, only one in existence, but it's not Ty Cobb's autograph. It's Babe Ruth's autograph. So there was a huge mess up in Panini somewhere. So I'm assuming there's a George Brett 1-of-1 out there with a Ty Cobb autograph in it now to make the circle complete. But
that's it. They only messed up on those 3 cards.
True. So now it's like if you pull a card, like I'm scared to death. if the autographs are even legit. Is that because a lot of them are the sticker autographs? How do we know they put the right autograph on the right? We have no idea anymore because a lot of guys are scribbling, so you don't know exactly what autograph it's going to be. So I mean, Panini, I can't count the days quick enough that they're out of this and it goes to Fanatics, and we'll see if it gets better. But
I would hope so. The way Fanatics was talking, they're basically taking everything that Panini is still going to be around. They're not going anywhere. They're just I can't remember exactly what it is. I was talking to my card guy about it. He said he thinks Panini is still going to stick around because I was actually asking him, like, should I get rid of my Panini product? Should I stop buying Panini product? And he was like, no. He's like, they're still going to be around. It's not going to be kind of like the same thing. He just doesn't think they're ever. He says they're probably never going to get their license back as far as baseball goes.
Which, I mean, a lot of it's unlicensed anyway, but
yeah, I mean, Topps owns the right to baseball anyways. But the problem now, I like Topps a lot. I just never have any luck when I open up Topps. I don't know why.
Same. You did have luck opening that capstone, though.
Yeah, but that's by Panini.
It is by Panini, but I'm saying you had some luck in that box, though.
Yeah, so anyone who hasn't seen our buddy Jared, he actually messaged me and was asking if I had seen Capstone yet, and I hadn't. So I went down to the card shop and I bought myself a hobby box, and I ended up hitting the first box. I hit a 1 of 1. It was a Tariq Skubal.
Yeah,
1 of 1 out of it. Yeah, 1 of 1, but they're really nice looking cards. Even the base cards are really nice, but just a heads up, if you do buy it, you need 60-point top loaders if you're going to top load anything, because they are thicker cards. They won't fit into the standard, because I bought standard and the guy at the card shop forgot to tell me. I come home and I start trying to top load stuff, and I'm like, what the heck? So I went in there, but I liked the card so much, I ended up buying a second box, and the second box ended up hitting a Bobby Witt Jr., which I sold. I think I sold it for $65, I think.
Yeah.
So it was cool. It was worth it. I have some other stuff. I ended up keeping a few cards out of them. There's a couple Acuñas I kept. Out of it, I hit nice inserts out of each one of them. So I just decided to keep those and sell everything else. So pretty much, I think I ended up breaking even on both boxes.
Yeah. I mean, so I didn't know they had blasters. So when I went to buy some supplies for the break I'm doing this week, I saw the blasters and I'm like, oh, I got to get one of these. So I grabbed one, and I'm like, I'll just open it in the car. Like, I wasn't thinking that I would need those top loaders you're talking about. And I opened the first pack and there's a Julio Rodriguez rookie. So I'm like, oh my God, I don't have any supplies. So I look at April and I'm like, hold this card real quick. So she holds it. I run inside and I'm like, I need like sleeves and top loads because I'm opening the box in the car. I don't want it to get damaged. So it was fine. I mean, you are right though. So I got 55-point top loaders, and those were they slide right in, and they're really nice in there. So 55 or 60 would work, I think. But
yeah. It could. So you're being asked if you have any card shows coming up.
I'm gonna take off in. Oh, so yeah, I was on the wrong screen there. So I'm taking February off. I'm still going to the card show as a customer, just seeing what the competition looks like. Because every time I do the card show, it's so busy. I can't go more than like 10 feet from my table, because like your card show is nice because it's one big circle and you had your brother and your nephew with you. But, for me, like I bring like my wife, her friend, my sister. It's all girls that don't really know much about sports. So if I get 10 feet away and someone's like, yeah, you got Josh Allen, they're like, okay, who's that? like I don't know what they're talking about.
They're like, hey, I sold that $500 Josh Allen card for $200 because that's what the guy said it goes for. Is that okay?
Yeah. So this time I'm gonna actually go there and like look around the whole place with my wife, and we'll see. I opened one that had a piece of a jersey. Yeah. So see how she wrote that? So she helped me open that capstone, and she publishes, there's a piece of a jersey on this one. I'm like, well, that doesn't mean it's actually good. Like, we got to see who the player is. But
yeah, you guys see if it's game worn or player worn, because there is a difference between game worn and player worn. Yeah. So the player worn, they might have just warmed up with that jersey or just had it on or whatever, and then the game warned us they actually wore it in the game. So yeah.
Jared is in. You could see Jared
Oh
here in the back.
gosh.
Yeah. But no, so the card show, I will go back in March. I did find a few other ones around me that do it every month. So there's one in like Rockford down by me. There's one in Wisconsin. It really depends, right? What kind of show I want to do. And I need to get a lot more stuff because, you know, my wife is there with me and she walks around the whole card show. She sees what everyone else has. And she comes back to my table. She's like, "Oh, you have such a cute setup." And I'm like, what do you mean cute? And she's like, "Well, you don't really have what the other people have." I'm like, "Well,
Oh,
thanks for the
cute is in.
for
Oh, it's a small little cute thing. It's just yeah.
She's like tickling the table. Oh, it's so cute. But
yeah, that's
yeah,
not really
so
what you want to hear.
what about you with card shows? You got any more coming up, or you're gonna inquire about a couple?
So there's one that's in LA that I might go to because they were saying it's kind of like the national card show of like the West Coast. It's 3 days long, but it's Super Bowl weekend, so it's in 2 weeks. But it's Super Bowl weekend, and so I'm gonna see if my brother has it off. And if so, we're talking about maybe driving down there and maybe getting like a restock on some stuff, and then resell it, you know, because that's what you do.
You got to. You got to find the flip, right? So
You have to, yeah. I might try doing like what that gentleman did when he came in, just bought like a bunch of my dollar stuff. I might just go and see if I buy in bulk. See, you know, just exactly like what Ekman does with all his stuff, with all his flips, you know. But you know, we'll see what happens.
So did I tell you about the guy that was across from me at the card show? So he had a Ron Santo booklet, autograph, like piece of the bat and all that, 5 of 5. And I'm like, man, I really like that. Like, it's a great card. And I'm a Cub fan. Like, I want that card. And he's like, yeah, it's 300. And I'm like, so I'm joking with him because we were joking around all show. I'm like, well, how do you know that it's actually 300? Like, have you comped it? And he's like, well, I mean, the fact that I have 4 of the 5, I kind of control the market. So it's 300. I'm like, you have 4 of the 5. And he shows them to me, 1 of 5, 2 of 5, 3 of 5, and 5 of 5. He's just missing 4 of 5. I'm like, how did you get 4 of the 5? So he just was chasing them and got them. And he's like, I just decided I don't want them anymore. So.
And think about the amount of money he probably spent just to get them, just to turn around and be like, I don't want them anymore.
Yeah.
Jared says one of the best card shows I went to lately had only 10 vendors. They had quality cards, and Jared bought none of them.
That's because he spends all this money in our breaks where he should spend it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, hey, don't you be spending your money somewhere else, Jared. Got my eye on you.
Are you planning to go live anytime soon with any breaks or anything?
If I can stop working out of town, I'm gonna be out of town
That's
again this
true.
next week. It's I don't know. If I need work to slow down first. Like first it was like, oh, I got too much school going on. Now it's like, oh, I have too much work. And even on the weekends, they're wanting me to work even on the weekends to try to catch us up. So I don't know. I mean, if I can't go back to doing breaks, it is what it is. I'll just turn on. I'll just do card shows. It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
I was telling my brother what we could even do is we can even get sealed wax and we can sell it at the card shows. Yeah. You know, it's the same thing. Yeah, there was actually quite a few people selling some sealed stuff, but you know, it was really huge. And I don't know anything about it, but man, Pokemon is just huge.
I know. Yeah.
I cannot believe how big it is.
There's a couple vendors from what I saw that do Pokemon at the card show I'm at. But yeah, you know, I was going to tell a story, but never mind. We'll talk about it. But
okay. All right.
Yeah.
But
about the Pokemon sales. Some people in the chat know what I'm getting at. But anyway. So yeah, the Pokemon is big though. I mean, some people had sealed packs, kids were buying up, and I was talking to Josh. He has some Pokemon slabs he might send to me to put on my table. Just, I mean, I don't know much about Pokemon. Maybe I'll bring my buddy Matt. Look at Matt. Tell the story.
He says, "Tell the story."
Well, I mean, so when you're talking about, you know, being excited about Pokemon cards, and yeah, no, Matt knows. So the individual that was selling Pokemon cards, it was way too early for this person. So the person selling was just okay, lady. Matt just like spewing everything. But like every time I look at her, like people are like looking at her cards and they look up at her and she's just like sleeping.
Oh, I thought maybe like she was like staring like you're gonna steal something.
No, but they're like they could have. Like she wasn't paying attention. She was sleeping. And then a couple of people, are walking by and she's like, yeah, it's too early for me. But the problem is she was sleeping all day like that. So I'm not going to reveal the person. But yeah, I mean, I'm just like, so the one dude had to like wave in her face, like, thank you for showing me the cards. And she's just like this. I'm like, oh my God, just pack it up and go home, lady. Like,
hey, but you know what? Going back to what you were talking about your wife helping you. That's pretty cool. At least she goes. The vendor next to us, it was his first card show. They're from a town about 2 hours from us, and he was saying, or not, well, he was saying that she wanted to come with him because she's like pretty much just into like whatever he's into, and she was like, yeah, she's like, I know he spends a bunch of money, but she's like, he loves it. That guy he had really high end stuff. He's really into like national treasures and stuff. I'm not kidding you. That guy probably made between 10 to 15 grand.
that's crazy.
It was unbelievable the how busy but it was nice because all those people would migrate right because we were right next to them, so they would just migrate right on over to our table. So he was helping bring a lot of business our way.
What's interesting is you experienced what I did. So we're doing a free giveaway, right? I know you did, where I'm doing like a free autographed jersey. It's a replica jersey, autographed. It's going to be a good player, I assume. All you got to do is follow us on YouTube. No. I don't want it. I'm like, well, it's free. You don't got to pay anything. Like you could get a jersey today for nothing. No. I don't want that. Like,
yeah, I was asking people were even like, oh, cool, you got a giveaway. I'm like, yeah. And like, I'm trying to explain to them. And they're just like, they just walk off. And I'm just like, I'm not kidding you. After 2 hours, I just put it away.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, I guess you guys.
I'll just rip it myself.
I did. I ripped both of them.
Oh, you had two of them. The baseball?
Yeah. Yeah. And I actually, let me see. Hold on. Let me grab it real quick.
There's a short intermission while Scotty's missing. He's back.
Yeah, no, I'm back. I had him right here. So one of them was Howard Johnson, who I was familiar with. He's made a couple All-Stars and stuff like that. Now, but the one guy that I didn't know about this guy. Okay, and I knew it was going to be old because I had opened it up and the baseball was like had that. When you look at a brand new baseball and an older baseball, how it turns brown.
Yeah.
So this one had like a brown tint to it. So I knew it was a little bit older. So this guy is a Hall of Famer from the 40s and 50s. Albert Red. I don't even know how to say his last name. I think it might be German. It's like Scholendinist or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's some weird last name. But he's a 10-time All-Star, 2 World Series. He won 2 World Series, 1945 league leader in stolen bases, 1949 league leader in singles, 1950 league leaders in doubles, 1957 league leader in hits, inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1989.
Wow. Let's see the ball. Let's see the color of the ball.
You can't. I don't think you're really going to be able to tell right here. I don't think,
especially with your background on, but
yeah, you won't be able to. But he's if you can see the signature, it's like the longest signature.
Yeah, but back when players actually put their autograph on it, not like a cross plus sign division sign.
See, Jared knows who he is because Jared probably watched him play.
Shout out to Jared.
Shout out to Jared over here. He's like, play. I said the name. Jared's like, oh yeah, played for the Cardinals.
Yeah,
because first ball game I went to.
That's good. He's probably sitting there I'm leaving.
Yeah, but I looked up his stuff and his autograph actually goes for quite a bit. and that would have been something I would have given away. So, hey.
And all you had to do was come watch us be goofballs on a podcast. That's all you had to do.
All you had to do is open up your phone, literally just open up your phone and hit a button, and that could have been yours. But I guess it's all right. Whatever. I think what I'm gonna do instead of the next one, instead of doing the giveaway like that, I think I might just buy like 5 or 6 of them and try to sell them.
Yeah.
And I think you know what else? You should get some of these and do a. Oh, you know what? You can't because guys play for multiple teams. The only other, so I was going to say you could get these like during your breaks. You could even throw these into your breaks.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like the break I'm doing.
Well, it looks like we just lost Lucky. So now I'm here by myself, talking to myself. So I guess I'll just start talking to myself. So I guess I'll talk to Jared. Oh, there he is.
No idea what
I was just gonna start talking to myself. I pulled up my notes right now and I was just gonna talk away.
I have no idea. It just said "aw snap," and I'm like, "Oh, aw snap!" Like,
I'm sure that's what you said.
Yeah. So I may have lost my chat stuff. I don't see the chat anymore, but that's okay. We'll make it through. So
the last chat was Jared. He was just speaking about that the player. He said that he spoke at a conference when he was in high school. So I guess that's how he was familiar with them.
I thought you were going to say Jared was talking about what seat he sat at the game behind the dugout. Shook hands with the guy before the game. No,
he was the bad boy with. But and then going back to football, this just came out. So, and I know my Cowboy friends, they were super happy about this. They're the ones that sent it in our group chat. But it says that Cowboys offensive coordinator Kellen Moore and the Cowboys have mutually parted ways. So Cowboys will be getting a new offensive coordinator, and
which they need.
Yeah, and not the talk like a bunch of crap on the Cowboys. You guys should mutually part ways with Dak Prescott too.
Yeah, oh yeah, they should. No, real quick, we didn't flip. I lost connection and it threw me on this side. So now Scotty's the main guy. I'm just here playing a role now. So, but yeah, no, they need to get rid of Dak for sure.
Yeah, my brother says McCarthy is taking over play calling. So there they go. But I don't know. I still don't. Dak's had 7 years to prove himself. You know, at some point, you know, you got to move on. It was the same thing with Tony Romo. It's crazy. Like I listened to Tony Romo in the broadcast, and he can look at a formation. He's going to tell you exactly what they're going to do and what the defense is going to do, but yet he couldn't do it on the field, which was really weird.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what they do. I mean, Cowboys. So I sent a picture earlier. You're not in the group chat. We are, but it said that since the last time the Cowboys won an NFC title game, Jalen Hurts was born, grew up, learned to play football, played for Alabama, transferred to Oklahoma, and then got to the NFL and won one before the Cowboys made it back.
Cowboys are Murphy's Law.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. We better get off the Cowboys before people just continue to roast them.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
What's the update? What's the update on the KC Cincinnati game? Anybody know?
Anyone in the chat, let us know the score of the KC, because some guy decided to do this podcast during a championship game. So that's weird.
Yeah. It's right because we should be able to catch the end of the game, and that's kind of what
it's a tie game.
Is it really? What's the score?
13-13. Wow. 9 minutes left in the third.
Yeah, you know what? Cincinnati's defense, they just know how to play Mahomes. They seem like they're the only defense that can keep Mahomes contained. Now, I'm sure some of it does have to do with his ankle, but you know, okay. My question to you. All right, now that Jalen Hurts is in the Super Bowl, right, and he's only in his third year in the league, even if he does not win the Super Bowl, do you expect his cards to shoot up still, even if they lose the Super Bowl?
I would say so. Now, there's a lot of value or a lot of noise there, right? Because to people's defense, right, they did have an easy schedule. It isn't like they had to work really hard to get where they are. I mean, they did. I think they would. I think Hurts has proved that he belongs there. I mean, he's still played good this year. Whether it was an easy schedule or not, you still got to perform. You still got to do it. So I would say so. I mean, I would collect Jalen Hurts. If I come across some of his cards, I'd probably keep him and wait for him to go up a little bit. I like Hurts. So, and by the way, we had a mid-season and season one prediction, right? So you were making bets on, not bets, but like Aaron Judge and Otani. Aaron Judge stayed with New York, opposed to what you were thinking.
It was more of I was praying it would happen.
Yeah. So, but then Ekman said Tom Brady was going to go to the Super Bowl, and that didn't happen. Half of mine came true. I told you guys Eagles were going to the Super Bowl. I told you guys. Yep. So now the Bills, it would have been nice to complete it, but I didn't think the Bills were going to play like that and get eliminated. I would never guess that. So
I'm telling you, is that sneaky Cincinnati defense? They're just sneaky good. That's just the bottom line. They're sneaky good, and I think a lot of they. I mean, if you play in the AFC as a defense, you learn to play against these high-powered offenses, anyways. But they just seem to do really, really good. Niners are believing Purdy has UCL injury, and that's not good. Hopefully, it's not just a sprain. Yeah. Hopefully, it's just a sprain, because if that's something that's torn, now it's going to go right back to Lance, because I don't know if he'll be ready for the start of the next season, because
it may affect him moving forward, because that's his throwing arm. You watched him after he came back, all short passes, nothing far. He just was out there just maintaining is pretty much what it was, because he couldn't do, things that he's been capable of doing. So,
yeah, and Bills will be without Stephon Diggs. He is done with the team. That's what Jared's saying. So that's interesting.
He should come play for Justin Fields.
That would hurt. Hey, I'll tell you what. Okay, let's talk about not so much the draft, but you being a Bears fan. All right, what would you rather have the Bears do? Would you rather have them pick the top defensive player, or would you rather have them trade the number one pick? Because I think the Colts are going to want to jump ahead of the Texans, and the Colts have the number 4 pick. So I could see them, trading with them, because then they only move back 3 spots. So they're going to stay in the top 5 pick, and they could probably pick up probably a second, this upcoming draft, and then we'll see what they would get the following year. Now, what would you rather have? Fall back 3 spots and get the additional picks, or would you rather have them take the best non-quarterback in the draft?
Who's the wide receiver on the Colts? I forget his name right now.
Michael Pittman.
Michael Pittman. They should trade that pick to the Colts, because the Colts have not had a good quarterback in a long time, and they'll pay for that number 1 pick. You get Michael Pittman, he's a tall, like 6'4". He's a deep threat, solid, right? So you bring him to Chicago, and then you get their 6th pick, and then you can pick a defensive player. For me, I think their priority should be offensive line. They need offensive line help bad, but maybe they can wait on that 2nd or 3rd round. But I mean, I would trade it. I would trade that pick all day. Get something of sustenance for your team. Get a wide receiver. Get something you actually need. Give up the pick. I mean, the number 1 pick is for a quarterback. You don't need one. You have Fields, and if you believe in him, you need to give him weapons. You need to trade that pick. That's what I would have them do.
Yeah, I wish I had the list of free agent wide receivers coming out, because if there's a good list of free agent wide receivers that are going to hit the market, then you wouldn't even have to worry about drafting one. You guys could just go ahead and just sign.
Well, yeah, that's if someone wants to come here.
Look at see, Matt's got it. Matt has a good one right here. He says trade back for number 4 and future first and sign T. Higgins.
Is T. Higgins a free agent?
Yeah, he's supposed to be now. I don't know if Cincinnati will let him go, but we'll see.
Sorry, I'm looking at the agents tracker. Sterling Shepard, Nelson Aguilar, DJ Shark, Randall Cobb, Marvin Jones, Julio Jones, but he's injury prone. Byron Pringle, Alan Lazard, Jacoby Myers, Juju Smith, AJ Green. I'm not seeing anyone else of any big name or anything though.
So they would definitely have to go after T. Higgins. I mean, T. Higgins is a legitimate number one. He just plays behind Jamar Chase is all.
Yeah, that's going to hinder him. But I mean, there's some wide receiver help out there, but the Bears got to do something with that pick, and it's not draft a defensive player number one overall. You got to trade it and get something you need. And yeah, fall back a few spots. That's fine. People are going to pay for that number one pick. Then you still get a top 10 pick. So, well, I mean, it's not.
Even if they trade with the Colts, right? Because the Colts have the number 4 pick. Colts take a quarterback at number 1. Okay. Then you have the Texans. Texans take a quarterback at number 2. Worst case scenario, you get the second best non quarterback, in the draft. Yeah. So now all you're really doing is just, and that's even if I wish I remembered who had the number 3 pick, but even if but maybe that team trades back with somebody and the number 3 pick ends up being a quarterback. Now you guys are sitting at number 4 and still getting the same guy that you would have gotten at number 1. So right.
First round
we shall see
picks in NFL here. It doesn't matter. I pulled up something else. So before I just have this long pause of me looking for number 3. But anyway, yeah, that's what I would do with the Bears. I would definitely trade. So, I mean, you have to. You need help. So.
All right. Well, you got anything else? We're about 46 minutes in. So.
No, I'm good. We went over Panini's mess ups as usual, our card shows. So I think we maybe we'll go live every week. It'll record it and we can put it on YouTube and real-time sports updates.
Yeah, we could do that, and we can have Ekman talk about his flea market stuff.
Yeah,
that he's doing as well. He's having great success. Yeah, I'd like to listen on that. So,
yeah, he's got stories. I've talked to him a lot. So, he's getting in that flea market style now, where like card shows, we put out the stuff and we show it. He's all about like flea market mode, the flip, like I'll buy that for 100 to put it here and and he's been grinding. So good job to him. So, but
yeah, man. Hey, April, what's going on? What's going on with you guys' internet? You guys got another blizzard going on in Chicago? Jared, I can see Carolina or Indy trade for the pick. Yeah, I could see that too. I could see Carolina try to jump in there too, Jared.
We'll get out of here before I get booted again. Maybe.
And he's booted again. He better quit this thing before we're not even able to do this. Oh no, it's cold. So no blizzard going on, April?
I gotta get out of here.
Dude, yeah. You better end this thing before you can't end it. So
yeah. So all right, guys, thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming to season 2. We're gonna get our stuff fixed next week. He's getting booted. I feel like Poke Spirit lives on. He's kicking me out because
very true.
All right. Well, we will talk to you next week, Josh.
All right. Thanks for joining, everybody.
Scotty. I'm looking at Josh and Scotty is here with me.
No, you're fine.
We'll see you next week.
All right. We'll see you.
All right.
All right. Bye.